So there are, first of all, there are policy issues, there are legal issues, there are institutional issues, there are also infrastructure issues that we need to discuss connected to the climate change problem and the problem that's emerging as a result of climate change. Issues to do with the food security, issues to do with our health, issues to do with even the way we do the constructions that we do in Kampala alone and in the country alone. That has a bearing to climate change, and climate change has a bearing to the way we even build our roads and construct our roads. So it's a host of issues I hope we can actually manage to go through this 1 hour or so discussion. I also want to say that I have seen narratives which are often generated by people in the developed countries, that Africa is the most affected continent. We are the ones who are extremely very poor. We are the ones who are, that's a fact, we are poor in terms of not having the money in our hands. But we are rich in having the natural resources. That's right. Which we are failing to exploit or exploiting in not a very nice manner. Okay? And that has kept us poor for all these years. We are unable to be resilient to the climate change effects because we do not have the financial and economic muscle to enable us to bring in the technologies that would enable us to be resilient to the changes in climate change, the changes that are happening in the climate. And so that's why many times when you see news on BBC, Al Jazeera, and all these international media, they are portraying people who are living in huts, people who are very emaciated, people who are living in very dry areas that do not have, that are at the point of death. And so they tend to use Africa as the justification for the climate change interactions, even at the global level, the climate change and designing of interventions and narratives. So I want to say that we are all in one globe. It's like we are all in one bottle, because the globe is one. The difference is that some sections of the globe are colder than other sections, and other sections of the globe are hotter than other sections. Other sections have more water than others do not have water. Okay? So, but whatever happens in this earth that we are living in, the temperature changes that happen in this earth that we are living in, happen across. The impact they cause in cold climate, the impact in terms of temperature impacts, is the same as it is happening in the desert. The difference is where are you starting from? The others are starting from 0 degrees centigrade, or below 0 degrees centigrade. And for us in Uganda, we are starting at 25 degrees centigrade. Now, if Uganda, the temperature increases by 2 degrees, or the global temperature increases by 2 degrees, that means that for people who are living in Uganda, where the already existing temperature is 25 degrees, it means that our temperature has gone to 27 degrees. That means for those who are in the ice countries, their temperature will have increased from 0 to 2 degrees. Okay? The impact of the temperature rise to people who are in the cold areas, 2 degrees increase in a cold country is the same impact as the 2 degrees that is happening in Uganda, where we have 25 degrees, because it becomes hotter. That is why we see today in Britain, for example, they have a temperature of 40 degrees, and they are complaining of heat stress. Some people are collapsing because of the heat stress of 40 degrees centigrade. But we have our brothers and sisters in southern Sudan and northern Uganda who have lived in that temperature for millenniums. You don't get people dying of heat stress. Are we together?
Yes, I am.
But the impact is the same. So when they're reporting, they're going to be reporting that, it is terrible in Africa. But it is also terrible in the European environment. So when we are talking about interventions for climate change, we should not contain a kind of, as if you are blaming them too, as if you are apportioning them most to another area more than the other. Yes? Yes, I know that the impacts of climate change to Africa in terms of food production, in terms of access to water, yes, you are increasing evaporation. So that means that agricultural land that was productive, agricultural land that was productive because of the increase of that 2 degrees is going to have less water and become less productive. Which means that whatever interventions we have to do in order to be resilient to that change in temperature is that we must now put in innovations that will now offset the impact of reduced water. You know, our climate is causing changes in our rainfall patterns. They are no longer as predictable as they used to be. And so, because of that unpredictability of rainfall, we need to have a system that is no longer depending on rain-fed agriculture. We need to have a system that is more smarter, uses water more efficiently, and one that allows us to produce food throughout the year without relying on the seasons that we have, which means that we have to bring in play low-cost irrigation systems, and which can be used both on large scale and small scale, and even more intensive agriculture. I'll tell you, for us as the Water Governance Institute, we have been trying out an innovation of what is called aquaponics and hydroponics, so that even somebody within the urban center is able to produce fish and vegetables, fish and vegetables in tanks within their compounds. We have been piloting this for the last, I would say 8 years, in now 6 districts. We are doing work in Kasese, we have been talking about. We're also doing work in Chedugwa, including the refugee settings. And so we are already testing some of the piloting things that we think can be used to enable our community become more resilient to the changes, to the impacts of climate change. So on that, we're already doing our small interventions as an organization, and we are trying to encourage many other people to come and participate with us to be able to.
Well, what's the government doing? Are you looking at any kind of level of partnership?
Yes, we have.
Idea looks to be very good.
Yes, we have an ongoing relationship with our Ministry of Water and Environment. We are trying to see if we can also encourage our colleagues in the Ministry of Agriculture, and we hope we shall get that partnership going forward. But we didn't want to approach them without a proven case.
That's right.
So we wanted to have something that is proven, something that can be talked about, and there is evidence to show for it. And so we have been piloting it for the sake of getting out that proof that actually it is possible to raise fish in tanks, it is possible to raise crops in pipes, for example.
Fish in tanks,
yes,
including
crops on pipes, on hydroponic pipes, and so that we are able to demonstrate that even if you didn't have land, you are able to produce fish and be able to eat very nice vegetables, lettuces, cabbages, cauliflower, even you can do your fruits, like passion fruits on such a system, broccoli and cucumber, plus pumpkin on such a system. So we are testing that. But because it's a new approach, it is suffering the same problems that people who introduced chicken rearing suffered. Because all those who, when they are starting people starting chicken rearing, many people lost their birds because they had not acquired the skill and the technology of looking after the birds. Okay? So the same problems we are experiencing, but we're also getting out beautiful examples or people who have been successful with it, because everything that anybody does is about your commitment. Yes, your commitment and desire to see something work. But if you come in and try an innovation and you're not particularly committed to it, every business, it will definitely fail. So for us, in terms of addressing the food security issue, we have some pilot that we are testing out, and we think it is working. And we are focusing also on refugees, because we have seen an internally displaced person, is because we've seen people who have been displaced by conflicts, who have been displaced by development, who have been displaced by climate-related things like floods, famine and drought. And so we're interested not only to focus on the Mwananchi who is in a good state, but also those who are coming in this country, because even the refugees come and become a burden for this country. Uganda is hosting up to 1.6 million refugees from our neighboring countries.
Thank you so much for the first admission. We are going for a commercial break. Every listener over there and the viewers, stay tuned on Smart 24 TV. This is a talk show you cannot miss. It is dealing with the socioeconomic lives of the people. And personally, I'm benefiting from you, sir, when you talked about how we can, be in a city like this, and you can be able even to do fish farming. This is great information for us. See you in the next session, our dear viewers.
You can actually go to Lesbian.
Smart 24, driving business.
Bulu magic is my joy. Ono bulu magic wange. Ayo.